Okay, shifting gears here a little bit, moving away from traditional ski ropes, let's talk about trunk lines. Not sure what a trunk line is? Go back and watch the video at the beginning of the series on basic terminology. So a trunk line, you're using this to connect a number of other ski ropes, like a larger act, a lines act, conventionals line, a pyramid, a ballet line, something similar to that, down to one heavy-duty line that it then connects to the boat. Let's start out and talk about what not to do. So if you are on one of those teams, and they are few and far between these days, but I do run across one, typically one per year yet, if you are using semi-toe straps, those thick, flat, 3 to 4 inch wide toe straps for towing semis or ratcheting stuff down onto semi flatbeds, that kind of thing, please do me a favor, stop the video right now, get up, go to wherever they are, and go throw them in a trash can. I don't have enough bad things to say about these things, and I'll own it. I was on teams for years, and we used these things. And I'd like to say that was 20 years ago, but not really. They are heavy, they soak up water like a sponge. When they're wet, they sink. They tend to waffle in the water, and by that I mean because of their shape, they do this in the water while you're going when water's flowing by them, which means they're yanking on the ropes of the skiers. They can easily, get into your props and everything because they sink. And when they're wet, which means pretty much all season long, because they never get a chance to dry out well, they tend to rot. Please just get rid of those things. You don't want to use them. If you are also using other older style trunk lines, these used to be made out of like poly E or poly P, but instead of the thin stuff that you would use for ski ropes, it's really thick, like 1 inch thick or more diameter. I've even seen 1.25 inch, 1.5 inch stuff, and people sometimes are still towing skiers with this stuff. Get rid of that too. That stuff is outdated. Technology has changed, and not just recently. The stuff I'm about to show you has been around for about 15 years now or more, and you should get rid of that other stuff. So what are your options? Really, there are only two things you should be using. You should either be using Amsteel Blue or Plasma Line. One of those two. There's really no excuse for either one. Those are your two material choices, Amsteel Blue or Plasma. Now, there might be some people who have touched, on these ropes a little bit, these types of trunk lines, and they're going to be like, well, Eric, hey, they're the same darn thing. They are not. They are made out of the same artificial fiber, and I've heard it pronounced a couple of different ways. They are made out of the Dynama or Dynama, depending on how you pronounce it, fiber. So what's the difference? Well, Amsteel Blue, and by the way, that's a trade name, has nothing to do with the color, because this is Amsteel Blue, and it's clearly not blue. Amsteel Blue has a looser, less dense weave to it. So this is Amsteel Blue. It happens to be just a thin diameter. They come in all different diameters. This is Plasma Line. Obviously, this is a thicker diameter. Would you know it sitting here touching this stuff? Not really, until you try to open it up. And by squeezing it and opening it up and looking at the weave of the fiber, that's how you know the difference. Amsteel Blue will have a lot more hollow space to it. It's not as densely woven. This is incredibly, incredibly dense stuff, the Plasma. So those are the differences. They have absolutely insane braking strength. Both of them do. I mean, Plasma's a little bit higher braking strength, but not much per diameter. So if you have, say, 3/8 inch Plasma versus Amsteel, they're roughly about the same braking strength. You'll get a little bit more stretch initially out of Amsteel Blue than you will out of Plasma, but both of them are considered non-stretch, like really non-stretch. These things beat steel cable in terms of weight density and braking strength. So absolutely insane artificial fibers. The biggest difference is cost. That's really what it comes down to. Amsteel Blue is about a third of the price of plasma line. Plasma line actually has a military spec to it. It is used by the military for some insane heavy-duty functions. They use this stuff to tow 747s and big Airbus planes around airports, and they even use it for replenishment underway for aircraft carriers. That's how insanely dense this stuff is. So what is my recommendation to you? In the next video, we'll get into how to actually make trunk lines. My recommendation is for pretty much everything in your team, get yourself some AmSteel Blue. You can't go wrong with going out and buying in bulk. It's cheaper in bulk. This happens to be 1/4 inch, and we'll talk about that in the next video and everything. Get yourself a 600-foot spool. That's a really good place to start. A 1/4 inch AmSteel Blue. That's really your best bet. And from there, you start making the trunk lines that you need out of that. Plasma, you can certainly use it, but again, it's 3 times the price for really about the same performance. The only place where I'll recommend that you may still hold to plasma line is for boat harnesses on triple rigs and twin rigs. There's some properties of plasma, its density, where you still might want to use that, and that is my recommendation to teams. Use plasma right up by the boat for a boat harness on a twin or triple rig. Everything else, any other kind of trunk that you're using, is some form or some diameter of AmSteel Blue. 1/4 inch for almost everything except for the biggest of pyramids, and there maybe you go a little bit thicker diameter. We'll talk about that in the making trunk lines video.